You're now listening to the Life Answer Pod. This is episode 9. I'm your host, Price. It's so good to be with you. I'm glad you've taken this time to come and listen to what I'm talking about today. I know this topic is something that really grabs at the heart of all of us at some point in time, because we all at some point have a job or career that we're working. And whether you love that job or you hate that job, detest that job, hate is such a strong word, this is going to be something I think that will be inspirational to you as you make your way through your career and through your life journey. How do I get rid of my dead end? How do I get out of my dead end job? That's the topic. How do I get out of my dead end job? And the real focus of this is honor your word to yourself. Set realistic goals and do your best to keep them. Now, that's a long topic, right? So we can focus in on honoring your word to yourself. How do you get out of a dead end job? It's by honoring your word to yourself, setting some goals and doing your best to keep them. Our mission here is to help answer life's questions that bring pause, are difficult to solve, and keep us in wondrous awe. We strive to be a motivational supplement to everyday spiritual and mental health. And simply put, we are answering the great and small questions in life, plus those varied in between. Thank you for investing your listening ear and your quality time. I greatly appreciate that. And I hope that you would subscribe to this podcast on whatever platform you're listening on or watching. If you're on YouTube, make sure you share this content with a friend. And once again, the topic is, how do I get out of my dead end job? Honor your word to yourself, okay? And we're really going to focus on setting realistic goals and doing our best to keep those when we set them. And that's not easy to do. It's a skill that you must build to keep your word and have honor and integrity. And I'm going to talk about that here as we navigate through what we're navigating here on the podcast. And so having integrity and building character, those are the two main focuses of what I'm discussing right now. When you have integrity and character, it means you're going to be very careful with how you respond, what you do, what you say. You're going to want to make sure you maintain a good name, a good reputation. That's what we do when we want to build character and integrity. But as a skill that needs to be built, you have to practice doing that. You're not born with just this innate ability to have integrity and character, though some are better than others. You have to grow in this skill. So just like different times a day, I'll go out, different times of the week, I'll go out and I'll practice basketball. Not because I'm trying to make it pro or anything, but I'll say, hey, let me sharpen my skills. One day I might be playing with some people and I want to be sharp. It's like someone who practices martial arts. You wake up and you practice. You make a habit of saying, let me keep my skills tight so that if I ever need to use this, I can, or if I ever want to show or teach or train people, I can do that, right? I don't want to let my skills just become weak. I play saxophone, and when I don't practice, I haven't practiced in a while. I could pick it up and just go, but I wouldn't be ultra proficient. I could still play really well. I could still do the same things I did when I put it down, I imagine, but I wouldn't be proficient. I haven't grown at all. I would be exactly where I left off. Yes, I've probably heard some new things. I got some new songs that are in my head, but I wouldn't be any better. And with character and integrity, it's the same way. We have to have moments and opportunities to build our character and integrity in order to get to the place where we're growing in that. And when we pray that God helps us to build character and integrity, then we should expect that some moments are going to come for us to build that character and integrity. In this season of life where I'm pastoring, I find myself often having to really be challenged in the area of character and integrity. And I recognize that, man, God, you're building this in me. You're giving me moments to stand up and honor my word. And when we're talking about a dead end job, man, your word to yourself is of the utmost importance. Man, you may have some flaws with others and not always follow through, but when you do something or say something for yourself, you absolutely have to do it, especially when it comes in lines of a goal, a job that you're trying to get out of, or a field that you're saying, man, it's time for me to move on to this next level. And so having integrity and character, those are the two huge things you got to have. Lying to ourselves is one of the worst offenses. If we cannot believe ourselves, who can we believe? We must learn how to keep our word to ourselves, and so that we strive to do what we will say we will do, right? This is a skill that must be practiced and strengthened. Some do better than others. We're seeking to honor our words and helping ourselves grow and setting realistic goals in hopes that we will keep those goals and move forward victoriously in our careers, with our families, in our faith, with our friendships, amongst many other things. And even if we fail, we gain experiences for the next attempt. And so I referenced in episode 1 of this series, how do I get out of my dead end job? I referenced Frederick Douglass running from slavery and failing, but trying again. And so I want us to think about that as we're thinking about honoring our word to ourselves and to our managers, to other employees, to customers, to building reputation, and that could lead to new opportunities. All of this is important as we have integrity and as we are building our character, as we're honoring our word to ourselves. And what's the why behind this? When we keep our word to ourselves, we learn that we are stamping our lives with integrity. We learn how to honor our word, and we stamp our lives with the integral process that keeps us from lying, especially to ourselves. And I want you to be inspired to strengthen this skill and honor your word to yourself. Do what you say you're going to do. Write down things and then make sure you go through with it. And the more you do this, the more you realize you don't want to fail yourself, and so you'll become more realistic. The sharper you become at honoring your word to yourself, the more realistic you become at saying things and doing things and putting down your calendar. And if you never grow in this skill, there's no way for you to lead out in greater efforts. If you want to lead and grow, you got to grow in this skill.